myself long before I got there. I did a great job this weekend. The fake news said, oh, you met. The only thing they saw that I gave up. One broadcast said, he gave up so much. You know what I gave up? I met. We had great chemistry. He gave us a lot. You haven't had a missile test in 7 months. You haven't had a firing. You haven't had a nuclear test in 8.5 months. You haven't had missiles flying over Japan. He gave us the remains of our great heroes. I have had so many people begging me, parents and fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, wherever I went, could you please get the remains of my boy back? They're giving them back. Nobody thought that was possible.
Sir, the parents of Korean War veterans are over 110 years old.
They're doing so much for us. And now we're well on our way to get denuclearization. And the agreement says there will be total denuclearization. Nobody wants to report that. So the only thing I did was I met. I got along with him great. He is great. We have a great chemistry together. That's a good thing. How
can Kim love his people if he's killing them?
I can't speak to that. I can only speak to the fact that we signed an incredible agreement. It's great. And it's going to be great for them, too. Because now North Korea can develop, and North Korea can become a great country economically. It can become whatever they want. But there won't be nuclear weapons, and they won't be aimed at you and your family.
Why did you offer to halt the military exercises with South Korea?
That was my offer, just so you understand, military. Okay, do you want to hear it? Okay. Military, I call them war games. I hated them from the day I came in. I said, why aren't we being reimbursed?
That's North Korea's term, war games.
That's my term.
They use it too.
They might use it. We pay for it. We pay millions and millions of dollars for planes and all of this. It's my term. I said I'd like to halt it because it's bad to be negotiating and doing it. It costs us a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. That's a good thing for us. Okay, go ahead.
What did you mean just now when you said you wished Americans would sit up at attention when you spoke?
I'm kidding. You don't understand.
Mr. President,
Wait. Who are you with? Who are you with?
Ali.
You're with CNN?
Wait, Mr. President, no law requiring you to separate families at the border. Why are you continuing to separate families?
So there are some high-profile court cases going on. You've got a former campaign manager, your former lawyer. They're all dealing with legal troubles.
Battery.
Well, I feel badly about a lot of them because I think a lot of it's very unfair. I mean, I look at some of them where they go back 12 years. Like Manafort has nothing to do with our campaign. But I tell you, I feel a little badly about it. They went back 12 years to get things that he did 12 years ago. You know, Paul Manafort worked for me for a very short period of time. He worked for Ronald Reagan. He worked for Bob Dole. He worked for John McCain, or his firm did. He worked for many other Republicans. He worked for me, for 49 days or something? A very short period of time. I feel badly for some people because they've gone back 12 years to find things about somebody, and I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right that they burst into a lawyer's office on a weekend and early in the morning. I never heard of that before. I mean, could you imagine if they burst into Barack Obama's lawyer's office? It would not be acceptable. It would not be acceptable. I mean, that's really a terrible thing. Now, I feel badly for a lot of those people. I feel badly for General Flynn. He's lost his house. He's lost his life. And some people say he lied, and some people say he didn't lie. I mean, really, it turned out maybe he didn't lie, but how can you do that? Who can you do that? Because who's lied more than Comey? I mean, Comey lied a tremendous amount.
Since you say that you feel badly, is there any consideration at any point of a pardon for any of the people?
I don't want to talk about that. No, I don't want to talk about
Are you
that.
President?
Yes. But look, I do want to see people treated fairly. That's what it's all about.
Mr. President,
I mentioned the other day, you saw what I did with the woman. She's in jail for 23 years on charges where other people are out after 3 months. I thought it was very unfair. It was brought to, and she had another 20 years left, okay?
What about folks who don't have a celebrity for them, talking for them? What about all those folks who don't have Kim Kardashian speaking on their behalf?
I'm looking at them too, if you don't mind.
Are you worried that
Michael Cohen might flip?
Look, I did nothing wrong. You have to understand. This stuff would have come out a long time ago. I did nothing wrong.
Is Michael Cohen still your
Mr. President?
It's really nice.
Is he still your
on the
friend?
IG report, sir? On the IG
I haven't
report,
spoken to
sir?
Michael in a long time.
Is he still your lawyer?
No, he's not my lawyer, but
Your
anymore.
personal lawyer, and not
But
anymore.
I always liked Michael. and he's a good person.
Are you
and
worried
I
that he
think
will
he's been.
cooperate?
Excuse
Are
me.
you-
Do you mind if I talk?
I just want to know if you're
You're
worried
asking me a question. I'm trying to ask.
Just
it.
want to know if you're worried if he's going to cooperate with federal
No, I'm not worried
investigators.
because I did nothing wrong.
Got it.
Nothing wrong.
Got
Okay.
it.
Mr. President, sir, the IG report, sir.
On immigration, sir. On immigration at the border.
Did you dictate the statement about Donald Trump?
Let's not talk about it. You know what that is?
But can you
It's
tell us?
irrelevant. It's a statement to the New York Times, the phony, failing New York
Well,
Times.
just to
wait a
clear
minute.
it
Wait a
up.
minute.
To clear it
That's
up.
not a statement to a high tribunal of judges.
Understood.
That's a statement to the phony New York Times.
you think it's fine
in
for the
fact,
president to
in
be
fact,
false false
frankly, he shouldn't even speak to the New York Times because they only write phony stories anyway.
just to
Although
clear it up.
yesterday they wrote a nice
Mr.
story.
President, on North Korea,
On the IG report, thank you, sir. On the IG report, you've said twice now that it exonerated you and it proved there's no collusion.
If you read the IG report, I've been totally exonerated.
It had
As
nothing
far
to
as
do
I'm
with
concerned.
collusion. It had nothing to do with
Take a look at
that.
it. Take a look at the investigation. Take a look at how it started. Take a look at the horrible statements that Peter Strzok, the chief investigator, said, and take a look at what he did with Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
Sir, that has nothing to do with, that has nothing to do with collusion. Why are you lying
I'll
about
tell you
it,
what, You're
sir?
asking me about Peter Strzok being
Should
fired.
he be fired?
I am amazed that Peter Strzok is still at the FBI. And so is everybody else that read that report. And I'm not even talking about the report. I'm talking about long before the report. Peter Strzok should have been fired a long time ago. And others should have been
Sir,
fired.
do you think people need to be loyal to you to work for the FBI?
I'm looking at Scott, and Scott's done a fantastic job at EPA, but
You don't see any problems with his ethical-
I'm not happy about certain things.
This
I'll
is
be
John.
honest.
Sir, the FBI agents need to be
I'm very
loyal.
happy about certain things, but he's done a fantastic job running the EPA, which is very overriding. But I am not happy about it.
Sir, do FBI agents need to be loyal to you
hope not.
personally?
Mr. President, do you agree with children being taken away from
No,
their
I
families
hate
at
it.
the border?
I hate the
President,
children
you talk
being
about
taken
China
away.
trade.
The Democrats have to change their law. That's their law.
Sir, that's your own policy. That's your own policy. Why do you keep lying about it,
Quiet.
sir?
That's the Democrats' law. We can change it tonight. We can change
You're
it
the
right
president.
now.
It's not the Democrats' law, sir.
Jeff Sessions
You need
changed
their
it.
votes. You need their votes.
You guys,
Sir, it's not the Democrats' law. Why do you keep
All they
lying
have
about
to
it,
do-
sir?
You control both chambers of Congress.
No, the
Republicans
Democrats,
do.
excuse me, by one vote? We don't need it. You need 60 votes. We
And
have
the
a
White
one vote.
House.
Excuse me. We need a one vote. We have a one vote edge. We need 60. So we need 10 votes. We can't get them from the Democrats.
What about executive action?
Now, wait, you can't do it on
Why
executive.
do you keep not telling the truth about it, sir? It's your policy.
Can we do one question at a time? Wait, one question at a time. The children can be taken care of quickly, beautifully, and immediately. The Democrats forced that law upon our nation. I hate it. I hate to see separation of parents and children. The Democrats can come to us as they actually are, in all fairness, we are talking to them, and they can change the whole border security. We need a wall. We need border security. We got to get rid of catch and release. You catch a criminal, you take his name, you release him, and he never shows up again. He goes into our society. And then we end up getting him in a different way, oftentimes after he's killed somebody. We've got to change our laws. The Democrats have control because we don't have the votes. The Republicans we need more Republicans, frankly, and that's why I think we're going to do so well in the midterms.
Do you support the immigration compromise, Mr.
and
President?
because we have the strongest economy in the history of our nation. We have the best jobs numbers in the last 44 years, top of Drudge. The best job numbers in 44 years.
President announced a zero-tolerance policy at the border on May 7th. Is
Because
that
he's
not a
following the law.
Republican-
No,
is that
he's
not a Republican
following
policy?
laws. He's following a law that
That
was.
was a direct order to...
Can I answer your question, please?
Yes.
Okay, you're just asking me the same question over and over. He's following laws, very simply, that were given to us and forced upon us by the Democrats.
That's not true, sir. That's not true.
Separated at the border.
The
There's another
Democrats
way to go
gave
about it,
us
Mr.
the
President.
laws. Now, I want the laws to be beautiful, humane, but strong. I don't want bad people coming in office. I have solved that problem. Now we're getting it memorialized and all.
It's done.
That
It's
problem
done,
is
sir.
largely solved, and part of the reason is we signed number one, a very good document.
Again, not
You
true.
You know what?
declared that
More
the nuclear
importantly
threat was
than the
over.
document, more importantly than the document, I have a good relationship with Kim Jong-un. That's a very important thing.
But they still
I can
pose a
now
really-
wait.
You met him once, sir. You met him once.
I can now say, well, we have a problem. I told him, I gave him a very direct number. He can now call me if he has any difficulty. I can call him. We have communication. It's a very good thing. People are shocked that this is the kind of, they thought Trump was going to get in. He was going to start throwing bombs all over the place. It's actually the opposite.
Well, but
we're building a military so strong, $716 billion. Next year, 700 this year. We're building a military so strong, nobody's going to mess with us. But you know what? I never want to have to use it.
Can you tell us
President Trump, you told Americans
the North Korean press is
Mr. President, any American you told Americans that they can sleep well at night, and you declared there's no more nuclear threat.
Will you use an executive order?
What's the verification process?
We're going to have a very strong verification process. Now, if you read the agreement, with most of you didn't, point after point after point he gave, including getting back the remains of our great heroes, okay? Of our great heroes, which made some people are crying in the streets. They're so happy. Nobody thought we were going to get that. Point after point. All they said about me is, you met, he met, it's terrible, he met. Of course I met. Meeting is a good thing, not a bad thing. By the way, it was good for the United States, it was good for them. I spoke with China. They're very happy. Actually, they were much happy. Now, they may not be as happy today because of what I'm doing with trade. You probably heard that. I assume it's been announced by now. But we're putting tariffs on $50 billion worth of technology and other things because we have to, because we've been treated very unfairly. But China's been terrific. President Xi has been terrific. President Moon, everybody, we're all working together because of me.
Mr. President, how long will you give Kim Jong-un to follow through on denuclearization?
Well, we're working it as fast as possible.
Before you put those sanctions back on.
We're working it as fast as possible.
What do you think about our charges against Paul Manafort?
We're working denuclearization as fast as possible.
You said how long?
Are you planning to meet with Putin this summer?
It's possible that we'll meet, yeah. And I thought, this all started because one of you asked, should Putin be in the G7? I said, no, he should be in the G8. A few years ago, Putin was in what was called the G8. I think it's better to have Russia in than to have Russia out. Because just like North Korea, just like somebody else, it's much better if we get along with them than if we don't. No. President Obama lost Crimea, just so you understand. This was long before I got there. I want to make it so the fake news prints it properly. President Obama lost Crimea.
So it's his fault.
Is it part of Russia?
It's his fault.
How is it not Putin's fault?
Is it part of Russia?
Because Putin didn't respect President Obama. President Obama lost Crimea because President Putin didn't respect President Obama, didn't respect our country, and didn't respect Ukraine. But President Obama, not Trump. When it's my fault, I'll tell you, but President Obama gave away that. Now, President Obama, by not going across the red line in the sand that he drew, I went across it with the 59 missile hits. But President Obama, when he didn't go across the red line, what he gave away, nobody even knows. But just to put it one more time, President Obama gave away Crimea. That should have never happened.
Has anything got been your fault?
There was the surprise interview by President Trump there at the White House, and at times a very hostile environment there for the president as he was trying to answer as many questions as he could there on the front lawn of the White House. More News Now. It's coming up next.